I've probably finished with the positive stuff, I guess you could say, in terms of looking at the positives from the All Blacks playing. I'll let you have your turn at this stage.
Okay, so
Yeah,
what I'm gonna say here as an Australian is that, like, and we speak about this on the stream all the time, right? Is that I am one of very few people who give a shit about this team, right? I'm straight up. I am one of the very few and only people in this country who is still here supporting this country. No one cares about the Wallabies. No one cares, and that's because of the derailing of Australian Rugby Union. All right. So when you still get myself and probably a select few others that still turn up and actually actively care about how this sport is going in this country, and then to completely, I don't actually understand. There's so many positives that I get from Australia Rugby Union right now, and then they still put up the same performance in the final 30 minutes of that game. Look, I was saying, I think at the 45th minute mark, win or lose, I'm very proud of this effort. The 45th minute mark, I said I could have been 43rd minute mark. I was very proud of that effort. But then within the next 37 minutes of the game, I was absolutely losing my mind because they completely changed that entirety. Like the entirety of that second half was just despicable. It truly was. It was deplorable. And I'm always going to, like I say every week, and I'll probably say this every single week. I'll say this word for word every single week. I will be back next week watching the Wallabies. I'll be back next year watching the Wallabies. I don't care if they get beaten by 100. Actually, the stat you said about 57 being the highest ever points we've given up in New Zealand, I'm actually, funnily enough, happy with that because, one, the score wasn't really a great deal reflective of that game in general. It wasn't. However, New Zealand still deserved the win, absolutely. I'm not saying Australia deserved that win at all. But, you know, the fact that 57 is the highest we've ever given up is actually something that I don't mind because I would have expected us to have, throughout this last 20 years, to have been 60 or 70 at some stage. I know it's still the Wallabies and they're still quality to an extent every year to a point where they're not getting absolutely walloped, but still, it was a pleasant surprise on a negative scale. Look, this team showed so much promise in that opening 40 minutes, and yet we can't get a line out right. You know, we can't get a real basic line out right. You know, we, at the 41st or 42nd minute of that game, we're down by, 6 points, right?
Yep, 6 points.
Down by 6 points, and we have a line out 5 metres out here from the New Zealand line. We're in the ascendancy because we've done what New Zealand do best and they scored right before halftime. On halftime, we scored. We've done what they do best and we did that. And we're in the ascendancy. We have the momentum. And then we get a yellow card with Adi Savaya. So at that point, I'm just like, oh my God, like we're actually going to do this at this point. I'm thinking, oh my God, we're actually going to do this because New Zealand, in the first half, the first try came off an under 12 pass from, was it Noah Alessio with the pass?
Yeah, it was.
That intercept was an under 12s pass. I'm sorry, I can't give too much credit to Ioane there. Like, yes, he scored the try, and yes, he got the pass, and he starts to be there. But honestly, that pass was an under 12s pass. I'm going to be straight up there. That was honestly the dumbest, and I said this multiple times, the dumbest pass I've ever seen because no matter what, there was no accomplishment there. There was no positivity going out to the left there. And honestly, I would prefer to have seen an under 15-year-old in that position because he probably wouldn't have made that pass. It was just dumb. It just simply was. So Ioane, fantastic, scored the try. No discredit to him, but that was on the back of a really stupid Australian error by a rookie. And I hate to continuously go in on this rookie, but he also was the reason for another try that happened. Was this one in the first half? You know which one I'm talking about, where he kicks the ball from inside our own 22. It goes about probably 15 metres straight to Sevu Reece, or who picked the ball up?
Richie Mo'unga, I believe it was.
That's the one, Richie Mo'unga. And then he breaks it, and they're inside the 22, they're inside the 5, Adi Savea scores. Was that in the first half?
Yeah, I believe it was right close to the end, about 35th minute or somewhere around there. Although, with that kick, I have to also mention, like, huge credit to Dalton Papali'i for that one, because they were talking about it in terms of the analysis, and they said about because of how quickly he was able to rush up and almost shut down that kick, it caused Lolesio, because he wasn't originally looking for touch, which I'm not sure why that was the case, but because he wasn't originally looking... He's on the left side of the
field and kicks down the centre of the field.
Because of that pressure of Dalton Papali'i running right at him, he had to kick it crossfield rather than straight down the middle. which I think is one of those ones. Probably was all over the field in that game as well for the All Blacks.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think Papali'i had the greatest game ever, but in the same sense, yes, he was all over the field. But in regards to that, okay, I can understand that. However, why? Okay, so he's going to kick the ball straight, and then he decides to kick across field. You've got the wind coming at you. No shit, Sherlock, is the ball going to be coming back at you? So if you're going to, like, I'm sorry, but it's just what a rookie does. And this is what frustrates me because, you know, in that situation, you kick the ball, like, why you, if he's trying to find touch and going cross field, like I'm trying to wrap my brain around the thought process. Obviously, this is all in a split moment. I get that. I'm sitting on a couch. He's on the field doing it. Whatever. Cool. You're paid to do that. So that's why I'm allowed to criticize it. I'm not going to say I'm not going to question someone's character, but I'm going to question someone's ability at this point. Why are you trying to kick the ball out over the far side when you should be kicking? If you're so worried about what's going on right now around the ruck and you've got, Papali'i coming at you, why aren't you kicking short side? Even if you go 10 metres out, you prevent a try. We conceded a try based on this. This is 2 tries in the first half on the back of Noah Alessio on his own hands. That's 14 points. That's 14 points on the back of his own hands. And that's on the Wallabies. And this is why I keep saying it's not New Zealand's fault. I'm not having it. When people misunderstand me, I'm not saying that New Zealand don't deserve to win or that New Zealand weren't good enough or that New Zealand are only winning because Australia kind of gave it to them. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that Australia has given them 2 tries there with some really stupid stuff. Some really, really stupid. The pass is ridiculous and the kick was just, it didn't make any sense why you're going across field when there's no players out there. I think Keller, anyway. But to then get that yellow card and have that positive feeling to think, oh my God, since 1986, we've never won at Eden Park. We can keep this BLEDISLOE Cup alive right now. We're 5 metres out. We get the line out. If we can throw that ball straight from Paenga Mosa, who did not have a good game, if he throws that ball straight, mate, we score a try there. We score a try there. We have the momentum, we have the ascendancy, and we are definitely getting over the line there in that situation. Would you disagree with that?
No, I think when you are like that close to the line, definitely with a man advantage as well, like all you need is to just have that one straight. But Paenga Mosa, I'm not sure how many lineouts he had straight throughout the match, but do you think that is one of those positions that maybe Australia are slightly lacking in at the moment? And I mean, I have a picture of this man. I don't know whether you can see me or not, but of course he is retired.
Yes.
But we know him, don't we?
Yes, but Australia haven't had a great line-out thrower for a while. They haven't had an unbelievable line. We haven't been our greatest at lineouts for a while. Paenga Mosa can be so good sometimes, but I know that he's going to come in and give an excuse. I know what his excuse is: the wind. Okay, then why did New Zealand have all their lineouts pretty much straight? Like, why you still have to play on the exact same field as the opposition? You have the exact same conditions as the opposition. So why are the opposition not throwing? Why is their lineout not screwed every single time? Why is it only you? That is such a pressure moment. That is very similar, and I said this to you before the podcast started. That is very similar to when Fiji lost to New Zealand. When they were in the ascendancy, they had the momentum, and then unfortunately a poor call was made. So that's the difference here. That was the difference because the referee that we spoke about. But they then just capitulated. And then this is exactly what I will tell you the order of what just happened. We throw the line out, doesn't go straight. It's now New Zealand. They get a penalty there from the scrum. They go up the field. They then proceed to kick the ball to, who was it that got the ball? Ran the ball to the sideline. We spoke about it just before.
So we're talking about, is it
Australia? We spoke about it just before. I said he was an under 12 player.
Oh, Hunter Paisami.
They kick the ball. Paisami gets the ball, and he runs it. And I can't remember who is the one coming for the tackle defensively, but Paisami, in his mind, decides, you know what? I'm going to take this man on in the 3 meter space that I've got between myself and the sideline, between the defensive player and the sideline.
Oh, it was Will Jordan, was it?
It probably was. It could have been Will Jordan. But in his brain, in his goddamn brain, yeah. If you can't see me, this is probably a clip, to be honest with you, but if you're listening, I'm hitting my head right now.
He was vigorously tapping his temples.
Why are you running to the short side there? he gets taken out of the sideline, and then we proceed to give up a try. I think this was the Aaron Smith try, wasn't it? No, the Aaron Smith pass. I don't know.
Tell you what, there were quite a few moments all kind of bunched in together in that second half.
There was, absolutely.
And Smith was involved in a majority of them. Also Savia, when he came back from the bin, he was looking very dangerous as well.
It's so hard to wrap this game up for me because my brain just doesn't comprehend so much stuff that went on. And it's deja vu, man. It really is. It's deja vu. Because yet again, I can sit here and tell you that I genuinely believe that if we throw that line out there, whether we win or lose, we lose by less than 7. You know, whether we win or lose, we lose by less than 7, and that's probably one of the greatest All Blacks vs Wallabies games that we've seen in a long time. But instead, we capitulate off the back of a poor line-out. They get the penalty, kick it down the field. We make an under-12s play by running down the short side instead of going into the open field. We get taken over the sideline, and the All Blacks score a try literally off that. We're done. At that moment, I knew we were done. I said that at that time, I was like, we're done. And then they proceed to score try after try after try after try. And that's on the All Blacks because the All Blacks know how to do that really, really well. But you can also see in the Wallabies that we just completely capitulated. Absolutely. In every aspect of the ball. And I don't know how. And this is why I reference the fact that I'm one of few people who actually give a shit about this, about this team. Because why are people ever meant to care about this sport in this country if this is what we're going to put up on offer? You know, we're going to provide such false hopes. Now, do I believe Dave Rennie is the man for the job? Absolutely, I do. You know, do I believe that Guido Laura is going to help this change and we're going to get players from overseas and it's going to help grow internationally? Absolutely, I do. But like this last 20 years has still happened. This is 19 years in a row now that we've lost the BLEDISLOE Cup. 19 years in a row. We have not won at that stadium in my entire life since 1986. You know, when is this going to change? We've been hearing all this stuff from Rugby Australia for so long. It's not been just the last couple of years. We've been hearing this for decades, that things are going to change. You know, Rugby Australia is trying to rectify things. I don't even think that Rugby Australia has admitted to their faults yet in regards to only letting private school kids play rugby union and not just the general population. You know, New Zealand, we spoke about this on the stream in regards to like everyone in New Zealand is allowed to play union because like obviously, but because Australia decided to go down a path and say, I think we're going to get more money from the rugby, the private school kids. That's where the biggest problem here is. We have no grassroots. I played rugby union as a kid. I'm very well aware of this situation. But like, there's so many faults and it's so difficult week in, week out, year in, year out to still get up, to still keep going, to put yourself out there and actually support this nation in a sport that no one cares about because, and this has been said many times before, we're a country that is so diversified that we have multiple sports. You guys in New Zealand have one sport. Cricket's, yeah, but you guys care about rugby union. You funnel everything through rugby union, right? And this is something that I can give credit to Australian rugby union for, that it is tougher than New Zealand. And New Zealand is absolutely, it's a lot easier to become a better overall nation at this sport because you can focus everything at it. And then you get South Africa and their main sport is rugby union. They can throw everything at it. You know, these two countries are able to throw absolutely everything into their rugby because it's the main sport in both those countries by a long way. We have rugby league, we have AFL, we have rugby union rugby league is the big one that deters it too. Rugby league, we take all of our players, get funneled straight into that system rather than the union because guess what? Anyone can play it. Public schools can play it and public schools are really the ones where they're fighting for their life. They're fighting for their job and they're fighting for themselves and their family to actually become better. And it means so much more overall. Do I think the Wallabies jersey still means a lot? Absolutely. But I think that this nation has gone so far backwards, man, that I just don't see an end in sight. Do I still think within the next 5 years we win the BLEDISLOE Cup? Absolutely. But do I think this is going to be a quick fix overall? No, because that could just be a band-aid.